The renowned cake boss Buddy Valastro has dedicated his life to creating delectable masterpieces, but beneath the pastry cream and frosting is a tragic tale of tenacity and heartbreak. Buddy has had to overcome unthinkable obstacles, such as the tragic death of his mother and a strange accident that almost put an end to his career. Public scrutiny and legal issues only made his problems worse and put his fortitude to the ultimate test. However, he has overcome each setback, demonstrating that perseverance is a crucial component of success. His story of overcoming tragedy serves as a reminder to all of us that hope endures even in the most difficult times. Join us as we uncover the tragic tale of Buddy Valastro, cake boss. Before diving into this, let's take a look at cake boss Buddy Valastro background to understand the journey that led him here. Reality food shows have long captivated audiences worldwide, blending culinary artistry with drama, competition, and the personal journeys of chefs and bakers. Among these, Cake Boss stood out as a revolutionary show, bringing the magic of cake making to the mainstream. At the heart of this series was Buddy Valastro, a larger-than-life personality who transformed Carlo's Bakery from a local business into an international sensation. Cake Boss immediately hit a chord with viewers when it debuted on TLC in 2009. The program gave viewers an inside look at the workings of the family-run, high-pressure Carlo's Bakery in Hoboken, New Jersey. Buddy's ability to transform cakes into incredible structures, producing edible versions of famous sights and even life-size sculptures, captivated the audience. Beyond the elaborate designs, the show's strength lay in the Valastro family's dynamic relationships, which were full of humor, love, and the occasional dramatic altercation. The series also included touching scenes in which Buddy and his group created cakes for weddings, charity events, and other special occasions, highlighting the emotional bond between food and significant life events. The rise in popularity of Cake Boss made Buddy Valastro a household name. The show's popularity led to numerous spin-offs and international recognition, making Carlo's Bakery a popular destination for tourists. His reputation as an industry legend became permanent by his ability to combine creativity and business acumen, which opened doors outside of television. Buddy did not, however, have an easy path to success. His father, Bartolo Buddy Valastro, who established Carlo's Bakery, taught him the craft, and his love of baking was ingrained in his childhood. Growing up in a typical Italian-American family, Buddy's early years were centered around the bakery, where he devoted numerous hours honing his craft. His father passed away from lung disease when he was just 17 years old, leaving Buddy to take over the family business. Taking over his father's role at such a young age was no easy task. Despite the overwhelming burden of responsibility, Buddy rose to the occasion and accepted the challenge. He proved he could continue his father's legacy while incorporating his own unique style by turning Carlo's Bakery into an empire via tenacity and unrelenting hard work. Buddy's standing as a master baker rose to new heights as Cake Boss became a global sensation. Celebrity clients and high-profile projects were drawn to his bakery, which became the go-to place for lavish, custom-made cakes. The program ran for several seasons, winning over viewers all over the world and serving as an inspiration to many would-be bakers. But, like many long-running TV shows, saturation started to become an issue. The launch of several spin-offs, such as Next Great Baker and Kitchen Boss, caused overexposure and a drop in viewership. A turning point in the show's success was indicated by the decline in ratings. Buddy had difficulties behind the scenes that went beyond television. Legal issues arose, including claims of a toxic workplace and charges pertaining to employee pay. His arrest for driving under the influence in New York City in 2014 garnered negative publicity. His reputation was damaged by the incident, which resulted in a fine and a 90-day suspension of his driver's license. In addition to the growing criticism, an on-air controversy involving a poorly thought-out joke about transgender icon Carmen Carrera sparked backlash. By 2017, the show was finding it more and more difficult to maintain its initial momentum due to a combination of declining ratings and bad press. An era came to an end with Cake Boss's final cancellation in 2017. It did not, however, mean that Buddy Valastro's career was over. Rather, he kept growing his business endeavors by establishing new bakeries both domestically and abroad. In addition to running a successful bakery, Buddy also entered the restaurant business by opening Buddy V's Ristorante in Las Vegas, where he shared his love of Italian food. In order to enable home bakers to make his famous cakes, he also launched a line of cake mixes, equipment, and baking kits. Buddy's career was taking off when his family was hit by yet another devastating tragedy. Mary Valastro, his beloved mother, was found to have ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, a crippling neurodegenerative illness. Known for her warmth and humor, the Valastro family's once lively and active matriarch gradually lost her capacity to move, speak, and even breathe on her own. Buddy and his family were powerless to stop the disease's progression for 8 years. The woman who had supported their family and the bakery was dying. Mary died in 2017, leaving Buddy with an indelible hole in his heart. He openly expressed his sorrow to fans after her death, acknowledging that losing his mother was one of the most difficult things he had ever experienced, despite all of his success. Another terrible incident rocked Buddy's world just when it seemed like he had experienced enough heartache. When Buddy sustained a terrible hand injury in September 2020, what had begun as a typical day at home became a nightmare. His right hand got stuck in the pincetta while he was repairing it in his home bowling alley, where it was repeatedly impaled by a metal rod. He was trapped and in terrible pain, and he couldn't get out. In the end, his teenage sons came to his aid and cut him free with a reciprocating saw. Doctors questioned whether he would ever be able to fully use his dominant hand again because of the severity of the injury. A horrifying prospect for someone whose job required accuracy and agility. He had numerous reconstructive surgeries and a protracted recuperation period. It was a physically and emotionally taxing road to recovery. Sometimes he thought his baking days were over. In typical cake boss fashion, however, Buddy persisted. He gradually regained hand strength after months of therapy and a great deal of willpower, demonstrating once more how resilient he is. At its height, Carlo's Bakery averaged about 2,666 cupcakes per day, selling about 24,000 cupcakes per week across its 9 retail locations. Staff observations indicate that the typical customer spends between $100 and $200. Known by many as the Cake Boss, Buddy Valastro is thought to be worth about $11 million. Elisabetta Lisa Valastro and Buddy Valastro, known as the Cake Boss, have been wed since October 14, 2001. Carlo, Marco, Bartolo, Buddy, 3, and Sofia are the couple's 4 children. Buddy continued to be a recognizable figure on TV in spite of the ups and downs. He demonstrated his abilities on a new platform by competing against fellow cake artist Duff Goldman in Buddy vs. Duff, a high-stakes baking contest. Additionally, he made an appearance on Bake Squad, a Discovery Plus series that introduced baking contests to a new demographic. In spite of the setback, Buddy showed incredible fortitude. He gave his fans regular updates on his recuperation, candidly discussing the difficulties he encountered and the perseverance required to regain the dexterity required for his trade. His persistence paid off, and he eventually went back to his favorite things: baking and motivating people. Even though Cake Boss is no longer broadcast, its legacy endures. Unquestionably, it had a significant influence on the baking television industry and established a standard for upcoming reality shows about food. Buddy Valastro is still regarded as a titan in the food business, demonstrating the strength of perseverance, hard work, and inventiveness. The fact that fans still flock to Carlo's Bakery to witness the magic for themselves shows that, despite the end of filming, Cake Boss's spirit endures.